I was like, well, I'm just poor.
Yeah, it doesn't
Keep that
tighten.
around your wrist, okay? Just in case you drop it, at least that way we can go to fire
He's
on the
fine.
ground.
I got rush shipping.
Oh wow, look at that.
Oh, isn't that cool? Check that
All
out,
right,
Jeff.
so I'm orange, red, and yellow, right? Everything around me is blue and black.
Yep.
It's going to kind of fluctuate, excuse me, based on whatever's on the screen. Oh, that's telling me to go ghost hunting. Awesome. So, still connected to my Gmail. It's funny. So, at any rate, everything around me is blue and black. It's going to fluctuate when we take me out of the picture. So, the leaves above me that are now blue and black, they're going to turn orange, red, and yellow. So, we kind of have to watch.
Cool.
So, we have to kind of watch for, you know, those blue spots to be coming by and looking for the cold spots. I do have different. I'm trying to think of how I want to do this. We have spirit box here. Probably gonna do thermal. Okay, so we'll have some things to debunk what's actually happening inside the screen. So in the event we actually find something, we'll be able to debunk it or prove it true.
Frozen in place.
I was wondering. I was like, this is not funny stuff. So.
Come on, buddy.
Drew, that's going to go to you, buddy. So the red square on there means that it's recording.
Yep.
So if you tap it by accident, I just have to splice some video together. So you
Gotcha.
just got to kind of let me know. Stay now.
He says, no, it's break time.
I was wondering, like, did we get some groupies?
You know how to go. Go.
So, we do want to debunk the things that are happening with that camera. So we all know what these guys are right now, right?
Yeah.
Surface temperature.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so in the event Drew says, hey Nick, there's a blue spot on the wall. It's moving around, everything around it is orange and red. I'm like, all right, let's debunk that first. I want to make sure it's not coming from the building. I'm going to see that the wall is the same temperature all the way around. Now I know that that blue spot is between Drew and the wall. So
That's what you're saying. Okay.
Okay, so now we need to find out what it is and where it's coming from, which is where this guy comes in. This is an ambient thermometer. It measures from the probe. It's measuring the air that's around it, literally. The top number is humidity, the bottom number is temperature. That's what we care about. I'm not going to get into humidity and ghost with y'all. It gets too scientific. I try to keep it simple. So, you're going to have both of these.
Okay.
Now, the yellow one's not super active, so we only pull that one out when we really need to debunk things, but the first location we go to, guys, is haunted, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't have a deep history. So it's really a place for me to kind of go over all of your devices a little bit further and a little bit more tactful. So I'm just kind of giving you the basic. Yes, sir.
I really want to be picky about what I use.
So
But,
you guys are all one family. Feel free
No.
to move them around.
Yeah, like if we want to trade them or
Yep.
whatever, we can do that.
You guys can trade up.
There was one preferred tool that I was wanting.
I might not even have it. What is it?
Little meters that you get
EMF meter?
that change color. Yeah.
This guy?
Yep. Exactly.
So, again, let me explain how these actually work. It's going to go to Annabelle. Did I get that right? So,
You can train them out later. Okay?
yeah. So EMF meters measure 3 different types of electromagnetic fields. Okay, they never explain these things on the TV shows. This is the same one that they use because it's super sensitive. So the first one's natural, it comes from the earth, so it's not doing anything. The second one is going to be from electronic devices. So cell phones, parking meters, wires are going to make it go into a pulse.
So
So
if I put a mirror.
that's running on batteries. It's probably not emitting
If I were to
much.
put this near it, it would
Right. My cell phone would probably make it go into a rhythm. So it's going to pulse. We don't want that either. We want this thing to go a little nuts. We want to not be able to determine a rhythm out of it. It doesn't make any noise, nor does it vibrate or anything. So you have to watch this thing when you do have it. So that's going to go to you. It doesn't record anything, but it is our first...
Not right now, Joe. Later,
It's
okay?
our first indicator that something else might be going off. So even if Drew misses something on the camera, we have it recording. I can look at, oh, the EMF was going off during this location. I need to watch the video and listen to the spirit
This is
box.
trippy.
Okay.
So
That's cool.
I'm going to use a few things on my phone. So you're probably thinking, what the heck can your phone possibly do?
A lot. Yes.
Yeah.
Can
Why is
detect
my
the
phone
amount.
reminding me to call my wife? I'm like,
It's probably
it's a ghost.
it's probably important.
But I just got off the phone with her.
Oh.
So,
Why? Why?
all right, so the first thing I'm going to be using, I'm going to use 2 different types of spirit boxes. The first one is going to give us a word in the center of the screen from time to time, and then save them to a list. So this is the list from my tour last night. I had 72 terms come out of that. That's a little heavy. I normally have about 55 to 65. So we're going to clear them out because they already have their list. So here's what I'm going to tell you about the list. 80% of it doesn't mean anything. It's bogus. It's meant to be a game and a hoax. However, it is another medium for a spirit to give me something that they want to say. If I ask a question, the answer can go there, or the 2 spirit boxes I'm using, your audio or my audio. So even if he's asking questions later, I could get the answers. So it can kind of go all the way around. Look at that. I already got the word presence.
I have a question.
Yes.
Like, at any moment, can we just like ask any question?
I'm
I
gonna
don't mean
teach-
like any question.
I'm going to teach you how to ask questions in the next spot. So, patience, my man. All right. Reverse spirit boxes. So, a reverse spirit box, I debunked this as well. I know this is a lot of explaining. Sorry, guys. But in order for this to be fun, you got to know what you're looking at.
Yeah.
So, reverse spirit box, they said it was FM radio stations being flipped backwards. I'm a communications major. That's impossible. You can't take a live FM stream and flip it backwards. So what did I do? I have enough software because I analyze EVPs. I threw it into software and I flipped it forwards. It's literally just a man and a woman saying random words. I tested it for over an hour, did not hear the same word twice. I have no idea how long the loop is. I don't know if it's updated. I don't care at this point. I just needed to know what it was so I could tell you guys. It sounds like gibberish. And then I'm going to play it for you live and then kind of give you an EVP of what I caught a few months back. Gibberish, right? You can't make anything out. So if I get an intelligent answer out of it, this is what it sounds like. Let me get to that page. Timed out. Imagine, whenever I get really cool evidence, I post it on everything.
I get it. I need to just...
Breakfast. Breakfast. Did you guys catch that?
Yeah.
So I always repeat what I hear in real time. That's what your audio will say. And when I break away from you guys, because you guys are going to work together as a group, and I'm going to do my own thing in some areas, I will kind of give you more of an explanation of how I give you the audio marker. I'll say baked beans breakfast, rewind by 5 seconds. That way you guys can verify. I don't always review the audio. So here's what happened with that baked beans breakfast.
That's English.
Correct. I was talking about a woman from England in the 1700s. That spirit box said, I'll fix you. Baked beans breakfast I heard in real time,
Yes.
and then that word list gave me the word tea. All within 2.5 minutes of each other in that order. In that order. So I had a full sentence from 3 different devices. Do you kind of see where I have to look at this as an analyzation in the morning?
Yep.
So with that being said,
That's smart. I don't think I've seen
I can run both of these spirit boxes at the same time. So all I have to do, I don't think I turned it on, is, because this blue one actually has to stay on on the screen in order for it to work, but this one can run in the background. So I can run both of them at the same time. So you're going to hear on your regular audio both of the things running at the same time. All right?
Cool.
So,
Oh, I just heard velvet.
velvet.
Yeah.
You heard velvet then. So we're going to take that for what it is. All right. So I do have other devices in here. However, with lasers, and I always make sure lasers go to adults. I hear ya. There are laser laws in Charleston. We're going to kind of keep it at that.
I'm sure.
So, with that being said, are you guys ready to go something?
Yes.
Sure, let's go.
All right. So, we're going to head up this way.
Okay.
Kind of like people get weird about cameras around their cars, so I'll just say, pretend like you're holding a cell phone, because that's exactly what you're doing, or I keep it small. So at this point, I mean, we're going to go in a little bit more direction with all of the devices.
Gotcha. Yeah, sorry.
No one's phone got near. What?
Is no one?
It's good. All right, let's keep moving.
That's cool.
Welcome to the Red Barn. This is where you keep the horses for your carriage rides. They kind of stay out of the window so they're still closing things up. Oh, they just closed down the horses. Good. The horses are still in there. So Joey, is it Joe or Joey?
Joe.
Joe.
I prefer Joseph.
Okay.
Oh, it
Joseph.
hit the red.
Oh, interesting. So
It's hitting it a lot, actually.
it's good. And we're gonna hopefully get some things out of here.
Yep.
So your spirit box cannot be too loud near those horses, or else you'll spook them and they'll start kicking the walls. So we don't want to spook the horses. We want to definitely be gentle with that around there. This is also the same Red Barn lot where they had horses that delivered milk to Charleston. So literally, that's all the history I have on this place. We are standing on top of a gas line, which shouldn't make the EMF go off the way that it is. Let's talk about the rest of your device. So here, it's kind of getting the gist of how everything works in there anyway, so you're already getting the gist of that. Let's talk about the spirit box. It seems like Amanda's going to be helping out with that quite a bit, actually. So the spirit box is not like your TV shows. We are not here to provoke. This isn't, hey Joey, why'd you kill Billy kind of mentality. You're going to ask questions that are not yes or no questions. So here's the reason why. S and O and yes and no are too easily mistaken for something else. We want definitive answers. So if you say, is somebody here? And they say no, first off, that means somebody's here. Second, if they said houses, because the DJ was trying to, it was a real estate ad or something, and it said houses, you think you heard yes. It's too easily mistaken for something else. We want definitive answers. So we're definitely going to start off with a question you guys know about. So, what color is that barn?
Ask him.
No, I'm asking you.
Red.
Okay. There's no way we're going to get blue or purple or anything else, right? It's definitely red. So we're going to ask what color is the barn. You're going to wait about 30 seconds to see if you hear anything out of the DJs or the radio chatter. If you don't get anything out of it, you're going to ask again. Keep asking that question 2, 3, maybe 4 tries. Okay? And again, they're not in the box. You don't need to scream in the box. They can hear you. They're hearing our entire conversation. So now my mother-in-law is texting me to call my wife.
Why?
So,
You better call your wife before you
no,
get your...
here's the thing. My daughter's Christmas present is we are going to Universal.
Oh, nice.
She lives in Myrtle Beach with her mom, so when she gets down here, I watch a laser and
Yeah, inside the windows, yeah, for sure.
So, now, when you don't get an answer to the color red, you can say, tell me what's inside the barn. What does that mean? That means you just opened up everything. What's inside that barn? Okay. Well, what is a horse?
An animal.
It's an animal. And what did I tell you that it used to do? No. Deliver milk. So you can get delivery, you can get milk, you can get calcium, you can get anything related to that story. This is about putting clues together. So I know you're listening up too because you guys are probably going to be swapping here in this location. So,
That image is going nuts.
yeah, I see that. So
It might be the phone.
it's not. It would literally, my
It would
phone
be
would have to be
pulsing.
right here.
And I checked my phone earlier, and
Yeah.
it was going off over there.
Yeah.
So with that spirit box, you're going to be listening. It's not the easiest thing to do. So again, if you miss something, that's why I got the one that records. I'm going to listen to it tomorrow. I do this for a living. I will find something. Thermal imaging. You're going to try to keep somebody in view at all times. Do me a favor and shoot the wall and don't have anybody in view. So, yeah, they're perfect. What color do you see?
Orange.
Mostly?
Orange,
Big
orange is
orange
red.
Square.
Yeah.
Watch what happens when I get in the picture.
You're highlighted. The background goes
Now
to
all the array of colors should be there.
Yep, you've
Because
got.
my skin tone is going to be the warmest thing out
Yep.
here. So you
Yep.
want to try to keep somebody in view at all times. Here's why. When you're watching your video, this is what you're going to be watching for. So then we get back to it. Now this video is of our next location, and obviously this is a wall, and there's 2 living people going right past the wall. Do you see their heads?
Yep.
Okay, so there's going to be 2 dead people going the opposite way here once I fast forward a little bit. This guy comes into view, dead, dead. They should have been the same color.
Oh, wow.
That's
So do you now kind of see where I'm telling you to look
Yeah.
for those blue and black spots?
Yep,
Do you want
yep.
to see it again?
Yeah, let me
I'm
see
glad
it
to
one more time,
rewind.
but I like that. It's pretty awesome.
That's why I have it in the spot that I do. So the beginning of it is 2 living people. See how they're...
Yep, I see how they're highlighted.
Okay. And now you're going to see 2 dead. As soon as it comes back around, right there at that corner,
Yep.
dead and dead.
Wow.
So if it's black, it's like
Well, it's the coldest thing. They should have been the same temperature as our skin. So why were they 25 degrees or more colder than
Colder
somebody
we
else's
are,
skin?
yeah.
because that's the variation. It's about 25 degrees difference. Anything below that is just going to stay black.
Right.
So you'll see the kind of like how it goes between like 5 to 7 degrees. It goes to the next hue of color. So white and yellow are your warmest things. Black and blue are your coldest things. That's why you always want to try to keep a person in view. So obviously you got the EMF thing down. So you guys are going to hang out with her. Oh, let's talk about your, like I said, the yellow one. You can almost pocket it for now. But with what he's finding, like shoot that red dot on surface temperatures only. So go ahead and point your camera at the wall again, and I want you to get a red dot on the wall and tell me the temperature differences.
53.6.
56.0 down to 55 point.
So we got about 2.5, 3 degrees warmer on the camera because he is also getting the air temperature. You're not. If his temperature on certain things drops below what you have, we obviously have something going on. It might not be that little black spot going by. It might be a big ball of energy being generated. You can also see thermodynamics in reverse. What does that mean? That means if you catch a spot on the ground and it's all of a sudden in like 5 to 10 seconds warms up very quickly, that means there's a cold spot generating somewhere else.
Right.
That's still enough proof for you to, like, and I've caught it several times, it's awesome. So if something is generating in heat right here, the cold spot, I don't want you to try to find it. Stay focused on the heat.
Yeah.
Especially if it's going up that quickly.
Yep.
So again, with it being chilly tonight, that's very good evidence. So again, I want you guys to stay within the lot, get used to your devices. I definitely want Joe or Annabelle to hear something from that spirit box, and then we'll move on to the next location and learn some real history. But I think you guys have a really good gist of your devices now.
Okay, and then let's turn it up so that we don't get it too loud for the horses, okay? So turn it just loud enough you can hear it. No, that's a loud.
No, he's good.
Okay.
He was good at that level.
Okay.
So you want to be able to hear the chatter.
Okay.
Yep, that's exactly. You don't need to hold it to your ear, but again, ask those questions, see if you can get some answers, and get used to it. I'm actually going to venture away from you so I can use my spirit boxes, and I want the 4 of you to work as a team and just kind of stay around and ask questions to the spirit box.
On the phone, I heard like a totally different voice. In the middle of the radio, I heard a totally different voice say the F word.
Really?
Yes.
I would not be surprised with this location.
Are you serious?
So one thing I didn't tell you was the story of Big John's of why we started there, because one of the workers was coming out, and again, they might be a little leery about a tour guide starting there. Big John's that we just started at is haunted from an old football player from the New York Giants in 1947. So I do often get his teammates here. So again, football players are going to curse. So it happens, unfortunately. And I did get the word lust that came up already too. So
Lust?
Lust.
Oof. Okay.
Fun.
So again,
Great.
That's pretty close to a bad word. The bad word, though.
Yeah. Well, here's what I'll tell you. I had a team of, I told you I go all the way up to 96.
Yeah.
I had a whole team of those. There's about 6 or 7 of them on that tour. The F-bomb drops on the list. I had never seen it before on the list. It was in this location, and I just kind of went, I'm trying my best not to, like, I'm keeping everything friendly, and these folks want to learn about the tools, and they're having fun, and then this pops up, like, what'd you get? Now they want to see it. So the next morning, of course, I can erase the word out of their list.
Yeah.
Because it's a copy paste. Because I just email myself the list and then copy paste it into the website so it's on the spot. Of course, I took the F-bomb out of there so that way they didn't have a bad remembrance. The stories in the cemetery with Nick and Charleston. So it is, but not. It was almost embarrassing because I don't get curse words these things. So if it does come up, it could be legit. I don't know. But again, go find some hot spots. I'm going to turn on my spirit box. The 4 of you stick together. We're going to spend maybe 5-7 minutes in here. That's probably all it's going to take for Joseph to hear something out of his spirit box, or maybe you to hear something out of it.
Okay.
Look, he's getting all kinds of stuff.
No, like someone just yelled.
What did it say?
It was on a normal radio. All I heard was a voice. I can tell it was someone saying something.
So here's what I'm going to tell you about the voices you're going to hear. I don't care what gender they are. I don't care if they're a man or a woman. All I care about is what the words are. So what I do when I listen to that in the morning is I'm literally writing the timestamp of when I heard it and the message. And then I kind of write down everything I hear, and then I kind of look at it as, oh, is there something in here? Does it mean something? Does it say, save my child? And put those two together, save my child. So I stories later that
You
actually
said
a thing.
the gas lines make this go off, correct?
No, the gas lines
They
don't
said
go
they
off.
do not make them go off.
It
my God.
is completely blank over there and completely blank over there. It's only hitting yellow really right here.
Which is weird. So you're too far away from any building. I mean, you're a good, say, what, 20?
It's
20
dying
feet,
a little
maybe?
bit, yeah.
15, 20 feet? So, again, plus that's a brick wall. It's not coming through there if it's coming from the building. You have no wires above you. And
Nope.
there's
No,
nothing
it's
underneath this
magnetic.
but a sewer line. So, go find some hot spots. Go have fun.
All right.
I'm gonna turn mine up. Actually, we got
So you
words
can
coming
turn yours
through.
up just a
Let's
little
see
bit,
what
Joe.
they
Come here, buddy.
Oh,
Try and get them wrong.
Oh, what are you hitting?
it's dead right here. It's right.
Let me see, like
It's like circling around this area. Oh,
So my Universal vacation, my father-in-law is blowing up my phone because they're doing a KISS live stream while we're going to be on vacation. He wants to know what park we're going to be in that day. So we can go back to the hotel and go watch the KISS concert. Like, come on, dude. Like, I've seen KISS already. 1993.
Yeah.
I'm good. Like,
All right, Joe. So you two gotta think of some questions that you can ask
Well,
that
yeah,
give
stick to-
definitive
I
answers.
want you to stick to answer questions you know the answer to. So, the color of the barn, what's inside of it? You know that, or you know what color your jacket is. Those kind of things. So, I'm just letting him get some energy out. Let him walk around.
Yeah, there you go.
else in this area.
It's literally just in like that one spot.
Oh, it's like it's leaving.
Well, there's a cold spot, but that's coming from the. That's got to be coming from the leaves that are right there. It's really black. Right there where you're at.
Are the leaves around it still black as well? Because it's just that one
What are
patch.
you getting there? Like what temperature? I'm clocking the leaves at 52.5.
Let's see. Oh.
Hey Nick.
Yep.
So. Oh, he's probably on the phone this way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. It's like.
So
It's
her
right
thing's
here.
going off like crazy. He's clicking he's clocking a cold spot, and it's way off from my thing. It's like right there.
Well, it's not
Right
exactly
in
that
this
cold,
general
but
area.
I mean, it's like, again, in that 55 range, but it's showing up really black.
No way.
So, what's your, like, is it on that water spot?
Yeah.
Which is probably going to be colder. What's your temp on the water spot?
52.7.
And you have 55?
She's lower than I am. Yeah.
You're still in the right range.
Yeah.
Okay.
It has to be like 25 degrees.
I
Yeah.
asked them what my name was and I wanted to see if they've been paying attention to the conversation because you've said it a couple times and they have, and to see if someone's here. And I heard something that sounded like, I forgot what it was, but something that sounded really similar. Like,
To your name?
yeah,
Because I got a name that came up as soon as I walked away.
like Jose.
No, it was Rebecca.
No, like mine said like
I know,
Jose.
but
Jose.
again, it could have been them telling us what their names are.
Yeah.
Both there might be, obviously there might be more than one person here, especially with the amount of EMF that you're getting.
Yeah, and it's right. Let's try and walk.
Yeah, walk around a bunch.
Test it. I want you to test it. I want you to be convinced by the time you part ways with me. Look at that. It says choose now.
It's going off right here too.
What is your name? I asked your name.
Keep walking around and asking questions that you know the answers to, though, buddy. You gotta know the answers to them.
Thank you.
Oh, it's fine.
I swear to God, it's following me. It's me. I'm like weird.
Well,
have,
I
like-
was looking over. I think it might be.
Well, I'm going over here.
Is your phone off?
No, my phone's on, but it's not. It hasn't been anywhere close to you. I mean, not close
Let's
enough.
turn our phones all the way off. There we go. That way they won't interfere. Yeah, that's it better. Oh,
Get this on my camera.
Yeah.
I'm getting a lot of red on like most of the site.
I'm not contesting. Make sure it's not just a spot. You see it spike like that.
So-
literally hold it as still as you can.
Dude, you can ask her. I asked what the color of the barn was, no response. I asked it again, almost instantly, very clearly, I heard it.
Heard what?
Clear as bell. Red. Clear as bell.
So, just to give you an example, I had a tour a few nights ago, and because that
So-
slowed down so much,
So you know
that
this.
they were doing the same question, and they got Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I'm like, that makes sense, because that slowed down. It's going to pick up words before and after the word it's trying to give us. So the fact that we heard Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer when you asked what color the barn was, I still have my answer. Like, I'm good.
Right.
I
Yeah.
don't care what the phrase says. If the word or phrase is relative
So-
to. So now, that's when you thank them and say, thanks for giving me that answer. Can you tell me what's inside the barn? They just heard me ask it, so now you get to listen. And hopefully you hear something wrapped around those horses.
There was something right here because it was at like
What is
yellow
inside
and
the
red,
barn?
and then it just left.
Again, that's why they call it ghost hunting. Ghosts don't hang out and stay still. You gotta
Yeah.
dig them out. What'd you hear?
Horse.
Did you hear horse?
Yes, very clearly.
Thank them.
Thank you for giving me an answer.
There you go. You got this.
This way. I'm trying to hit red. I'm getting a lot of orange though. Yellow, orange. Oh,
What was the object that I touched?
it did spike. Oh,
So again, it's that repeat. Like, there's no way I can make this stuff up where it's literally coming out 2, 3, 4, 5 times.
oh.
I heard it twice from two different voices. Yellow. I asked what was the color of the object that I touched?
I think at this point it's just walking with us.
With yellow things. I heard yellow twice from two different voices, almost at the exact same time. A male and then the female.
Alright, so we got the gist of how their gadgets work. You guys ready to go learn some real history?
Yes.
Alright, let's go ahead and turn that spirit box down.
No, I just don't want sequence to not Hey, Joe, maybe stay back behind me. Okay, I don't want you doing this and walking up to the road. It's too hard. It's too hard. He tries to not watch where he's going sometimes. I always try to keep him between two adults so that we don't end up in the crash.
Let Nick be our leader.
Is there anything that we have like on us that could keep it out of this? Yeah. 'Cause it's been like striking red now. It's been like yellow every now and then going to green.
Well, we know there's an entity around it.
No.
So that's been striking every
We
day
did
for
walk by some
answers.
parking meters. So again, I don't want to claim false positive, but that's kind of it's a possibility.
Like
Yeah.
right
Now,
here. That's
it's going
common.
red in here because of the location. So let me give you the story on what's going on here. First heated warning, we do have some problems with the homeless in this lot. They like to sleep up by the gate or by the dumpster. I did do a walkthrough before you guys got here. I didn't see anybody, but I'm going to do another walkthrough after I'm done telling you what's on. So this is the Eliza and Charles Pinckney mansion site. So who were Eliza and Charles? They had a son named Charles and they had a nephew named Charles. Those two, the son and the nephew, were signers of our Constitution. So it's a pretty big deal because the son was obviously raised here. I hate politics. It's 2020. Let's move on. Nobody wants to talk politics. So let's talk about Eliza. Eliza was super important for Charleston. So anybody know who Eliza Pinckney was? No?
Yeah,
You know a little bit about
a
it?
little bit.
I've heard the name.
Okay, that's good.
I learned it. I just forgot everything I learned.
That's all right. Now you're going to try to talk to her, which is awesome.
Learning's a small thing.
So Eliza married Charles at a young age because her father thought he was dying over in England. Baked beans breakfast. This is where this occurred, and the video that I showed you guys. It happened up in that corner. Yeah, it says educator. I'm teaching you guys. It's funny. So sometimes things come up that are relatable to our tour. I just can't give you a verifiable link of why it says educator. It's just funny. But at the same token, so hopefully you can find out how old Eliza was when she married Charles, but her dad thought he was dying, she didn't want to go home, so she married Charles and stayed here. Now, there wasn't U.S. citizenship back in the 1700s, but it definitely kept her here. So with that being said, Dad got better, he started sending gifts over from England. One of those gifts happened to be the plant indigo. Now, you guys have been driving around town.
Yes, I remember this one.
Now, Indigo was started right here.
Yep.
So the cool thing is that her garden was lined up with that tree over there on the left. It came all the way across. The mansion faced East Bay Street. We're standing where the servant quarters would have been. So her servants and slaves that Pinckney's owned knew how to cultivate indigo in our climate because they came from the Gullah culture. So if you guys take any other kind of tour, especially around slaves, you're going to hear about the Gullah culture.
That's what. When I turned this off, when you put that thing, I heard the number. There's something to say.
You had velvet.
Oh.
You're thinking of cake. So what is indigo? Indigo makes blue dye that makes our blue jeans blue. That's how we use it today. So on Disney Plus, if anybody has it, Jeff Goldblum actually did a full episode on his show, World According to Jeff Goldblum, about denim and indigo and how it works. It's really cool stuff. So anyway, like when I have kids, I can actually feel like a teacher. So sorry to call you a kid, I don't know how old you are. But at any rate, so there's a lot of weird things about Eliza that like to come through on our spirit boxes. So one of them is the fact that Eliza was the second wife named Eliza from Charles. Now, back-to-back moments. So his first name was her name was Eliza, then the second wife was named Eliza. They both go by their maiden name. So you're going to try to find out what the maiden name was. That means the name that she had before she got married. So it's Eliza blank Pinckney. It's not a middle name, maiden. A lot of kids get that confused. So they both start with the letter L. That's all I'm going to tell you. Hopefully the spirit box will give you more. You can ask what happened to the mansion. Why is it not here anymore? So again, we can usually get answers around that. You can ask anything you want to about Eliza's death. How old she was, where did she die from, where is she buried, where did she die, and which U.S. president was a pallbearer at her funeral. Now that doesn't tell you how important this woman was to our country. I don't know what does. And I actually learned that fact from doing my own tours. So she came through several times for me to be able to learn this. Here's what I'm going to ask you not to do. Don't ask about the children. It's the only thing I'm going to ask you not to do. Why? There's a tragedy involved. All activity normally stops for the rest of your trip. I can almost guarantee that if you start focusing on with what happens to the kids, now most of them were successful, but there is a tragedy involved, and I don't want you guys to stumble upon it. So again, let's not ask about those kids.
Did you hear what he
You're
said?
going to get weird EMFs.
You can ask any questions you want, just nothing about the kids, okay?
Yeah.
You know, common for this area. Are there hotter spots than others? Yeah, they usually are. I don't know where they, because you're different every single day. When you're addressing these questions, Joseph, sorry, I keep on calling you Joe. Call Eliza out by her name. Hey Eliza, tell me this. Hey Eliza, tell me that. Now I'm going to be going after probably Charles or asking different questions based on what's going on with us right around us. The color's my coat. I mean, obviously, Drew's coat is very prominent. You can see him from a mile away. We might be able to get that color out of him too. Now you did hear the color yellow twice. It could have been the pole and his jacket. So we don't know. But I'm going to be going after different questions. So you can go ahead and pester Eliza all you want to. But again, give her time to answer those questions. You gotta be patient. So you can turn it up a little louder in here. Drew, again, we have cars in here.
Yeah.
Let's just be mindful of that. If people come in here trying to get into their cars, don't act like you're filming them. They get real weird about it. Lasers can set off car alarms. So your red dot needs to stay off of the cars, but below the walls. We don't want to disrupt any businesses either.
Okay.
So again, there's businesses and people living and all kinds of
You
stuff.
said they can set off collars?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I've had teams run. Let's go. We're out. I can't do anything about it. You know, it's somebody that works nearby.
You pay me already, whatever.
Yeah. So,
See, if it was me, I'd sit up in a window and I would see it and automatically hit my panic button just to scare me.
yeah, but some people. This is a paid parking lot.
Well, yeah.
So here's the other thing that I should tell you about the EMF. They're not going to do an archaeological dig here, nor have they ever. They're going to put a commercial hotel here someday. It was already supposed to be here. I'm glad it's not. Thank you, COVID, for one thing. But there's nothing, like, we don't know what's underneath these grounds. There's no electrical wires or anything like that. Me and my daughter were on the tour last night, and we tested certain, like, conduit over there. It looks like they actually did a live wire on one of those. I tested them several times just to see what's live.
She ran a plantation, correct?
Correct. That was
Yep.
over in Mount Pleasant.
Would it be possible for any slaves that she could possibly had in her house to also be in this area?
Could be. So here's the odd thing. I'm going to tell you that Eliza's not buried here, nor did she die here in Charleston. But yet I get answers from her weekly. Can't guarantee we're going to get them tonight, but weekly. For sure. But,
That's crazy.
yep, happens every night. So, wander around. I'm going to kind of do a quick scope of the land. So if you guys want to hang out on the back half and kind of do your thing.
Okay.
Again,
Let's stick together this go
so
around. What'd you get?
I got the president again.
So maybe you should ask that question.
I already got it.
Yeah.
Oh, you got the actual name of the president?
I got the name.
Yeah. Well, they were there to sign the Constitution.
And
Which makes sense.
this is the third
Wow.
device, fourth time that I've gotten George Washington
That's crazy.
which makes sense.
in this location.
Wow.
So
Huh?
take that for what it is. That's a good sign. Again, I'm going to do my layout of the land.
Okay.
You guys hang out.
Let's
Just
stick
that's-
together this go
Yeah.
around.
Yeah.
It'll be a little more productive.
Yeah. You can follow you. Just look this slow and you said
Stay on the back half. The back half.
that's your lights aren't going to close it out. Come here. This side. Always close it out.
Did you want
Well, no. I've been.
Ask some questions. Remember what he told to ask? Say like, hey Eliza, how did you die? Ask questions, Joe. Yeah. That's what we're here for.
That scared me.
Why don't you turn it up a little and stay in one spot so we don't hear it?
What's your name?
Oh, it's ballet music. Wait.
I've done some that looks like it's coming from over here. I've done some that looks like it's coming from
Let's try moving to a different spot because I hear way too much radio than I do anything else.
Dude, look. It's like
What
flashing
is your
red.
maiden name?
So, that thing where you cannot see flashing lights?
But remember he said it might answer on the radio too.
Whoa! It just spiked red and stayed here as we speak.
So you have somebody sleeping up there.
Okay.
He's under plenty of blankets, so let's just kind of be mindful of him. He does get a little grumpy. I'll just say that. And just so y'all know,
Up on left corner.
um, we got the word second as soon as I walked over to that corner. Eliza Lucas Pinckney was the second one
Yeah.
that planted the indigo. So we're
Well,
going to take that one.
He had asked her name, and then we asked me.
What's funny was I also heard the word name. Heard that one. It didn't show up on the screen. I heard it.
Turn it.
So you can probably turn it up just a smidge so you can hear it. Good, we got another smoker on board. I don't feel so bad.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Great thing about running your own business is you kind of break a little bit of rules and
Absolutely.
kind of have some fun. And like that's my wife. Whenever I text my wife that I made it, downtown to work,
Yeah.
she always says, "Have fun. Love you. See you when you get home."
That's awesome.
And it's what's cool is she designs all of the graphic stuff for me. So that's what she does.
Oh.
She's in graphic design and photography. So when I had the digital camera out, she analyzed the pictures. She did the Stories in the Cemetery logo from scratch.
Right.
She does all that stuff for me. So if I need stuff for my website, I just say, hey, I need this. I need it to look like this. She does all my book covers, my headshots, all that stuff.
Wow.
So we have like this whole little production
Production
going on.
business going on, yeah.
I just got the word yours.
Yeah.
We're talking about my business because it's mine, 5
Yeah.
Again, can't prove that, but it is what it is.
He's like someone right here. Yeah, I got nothing.
It was.
Where did you die?
Oh, it's coming like right here. Flashing red. Oh, I lost it.
Oh, you got it.
I went
Joe.
straight over there.
Like it keeps
to that
interrupting.
gate.
It's not
I got
gonna get through.
what the first one like
I hear the
no flashes.
I heard the song that we for Christmas tree, but I don't think that's the answer. I highly doubt that's the answer. What word did it say?
Whoa!
It said exactly.
It just flashed rapidly right by you. Right here, just flashed.
So did her death have anything to do with this time of year?
Time of year?
Christmas?
Seems like it's
So
moving.
after Marcy died
Joe, remember there's somebody up there.
underneath the Christmas tree? Joe, over here, buddy.
We asked her her name.
Something came through the
It was like it wasn't even
Something is something. Something is somewhere.
I didn't see anything on the flue. There's a guy up there sleeping in the left-hand corner.
It was like click, pause, click, click. It wasn't succinct, like click. But
There's an
and
entity
it was a
something
little,
over there.
you could hear something,
Like
but there.
it died. It would stay on.
I sync everything up so I know
Right.
where that doesn't record anything.
Whoa,
So
whoa.
be able to verify.
Right.
It got extremely near us. It flashed ugly red.
Speed them. This is also where making correctness came from. I'm excited about Washington in a second. Like those two for sure. I'm excited about. And then again, I heard the word name. Just mostly I won't say anything was really relevant, but I still say
Oh,
anyway.
wait, stop, Joe. All right, I don't know. Come here. I don't know if it's his shadow. Oh, it is his shadow.
Joe!
Look, because
Joe, you weren't
this seems like there was a like a child or something following him was about his same size.
Let me go
Had a
back over.
black outline. Go back over to where you were, Joe.
No, wait, it's flashing red. I think
There was like a black outline in that area that was like right on him.
it's entity. It's entity. Why is it flashing all the red? It would stay there so long.
Joe, move back over to your right. No, I'm sorry, to your left. To your left. To your left.
His shadow's right in front of him.
So was it behind him or in front of him?
It was to the side of him.
It was to the side of him?
So it looks like to me there's a child. Looks like there's a child in the background.
So
Stay
because
there,
you
Joe,
said
don't
that,
move.
It records audio too, so I can
Oh,
definitely
okay.
pinpoint it.
So it was. See the outline of the arm?
Yeah.
Is that
I don't know what that
I don't-
is behind him
is that the shadow from maybe the?
though. Dumpster,
Because
but
they're-
it's
they're-
not a shadow there though.
But it is now. Look. See it?
check the temperature.
See it?
I did. It's not.
See it? He's it's whatever it is. It's mimicking the same thing that he's doing.
It's weird that it's called behind him.
Whatever it is like you. And his little thing is going off like crazy.
And I don't want you to
Now there's. It looks like you're over your right. It looks like behind you. Looks like a guy with a top coat. He's walking in sync with you.
I asked them who they were.
Mimicking your left, mimicking your right, mimicking your left, mimicking your right.
Because it didn't sound like radio.
Do you see it?
There's nothing over here. You're getting the EMF.
Okay.
Come back.
Now everything comes back in sync.
That's crazy.
Can I see
Is
it real
this-
quick?
But
the
it's
light-
not, when they're not standing there, it's not there? Or it is there?
It's flashing rapidly. I mean, I don't read red.
There's nothing there at all now.
It's a possibility, but again, that's why we record it.
Right, so you can
And-
go back and look.
Well, the cool thing is I upload
See, look
it
at
to
the
YouTube
shadow.
first,
Look at the
so I
shadow.
can watch it on TV.
See right there
and
to
catch
the
it
right?
bigger. Yeah.
It's mimicking.
I want to see.
But again, if one of us isn't in view, that's why I say our skin tone is going to help it fluctuate a little bit more and help you see more colors.
So which side is it on? His left?
It's
on.
on his left side right
so if I
now.
stand closer, like what if I stand here? Is it still there?
No,
No.
it's
It might just be
immediately
actually-
off his left side. It's
It's still
mimicking his
there.
left and right,
Yeah, I
left and
see
right.
it.
Amanda,
It's still there.
Go back there, buddy.
Now it's gone.
can you come over
They're
here? I want
always-
to see what's going on.
Now it's
That
back.
might just be a spot.
Because once you get out of that area, it's no longer good. There it is again.
I think
But I'm
'cause
still in the
there's
frame.
Fade away.
there's just like a heat spot in that area, period, and he's going around
Well,
it.
that would be the light.
Yeah, so I think it's just the light, truthfully.
How do you turn this?
We'll analyze it in the morning. See what we got.
That's pretty wild.
All right, let me see if anything else came up. Nope, we're good here. So let me give you the answers. Come on over this way, and I'll give you guys the answers to the questions.
Amanda, let me see. Let me see.
Oh, she's checking.
Can I see the shadow real quick? Yeah, there is some right there.
Yeah, it's still recording, so you can always move it. That's the beautiful thing. I
Isn't
love
that
thing.
it?
So when I'm doing my
Hopefully,
own,
when you
Yeah,
go
right
through the
there.
recording, it actually said
Like
something.
it's there. That's
all right. So Eliza
Whatever it
Lucas
is.
Pinckney is what I told you guys, and that was the indigo Eliza. The first Eliza was Eliza Lamb Pinckney, so they both started with L. So Lamb and Lucas is what we were looking for there. Eliza, the one we were talking about, Lucas, she died at the age of 70 in Philadelphia from breast cancer that we know of. We're talking 1700s, so kind of up in the air on the breast cancer. But I have had cancer come up before, and it's been on multiple references that I use. We already know George Washington took her to her grave, and she's also buried in Philadelphia. So again, she's not buried here. Charles Pinckney is. He's buried over at St. Philip's. So again, that kind of tells you if there's an in limbo on anything, they're just kind of hanging out, or they go wherever they want to go. The house caught fire and was burned in the Great Fire of 1861, which would have been after Charles and Eliza's time. But we will get answers like flames burning, fire, anything relating to any kind of fire or heat. So again, we didn't get any of that tonight that I know of, but I am very excited about Washington in second. Second is something that I don't think I've ever seen before either, especially in this location. That would be something else. So I'm pretty excited about that. But the Washington thing, man, over and over and over. It's like she really wants us to really know that. So
She's bragging about it.
pretty much.
I had Washington at my funeral.
Well, Charles Pinckney, and when George Washington was in Charleston, he spent a lot of time with Charles. So once he realized what Eliza did with her indigo, and realized what it was doing for the colonies, like he became pretty much a big fan. So when she passed away, obviously he was there. We're going to go up East Bay Street, about 4 blocks up the Lodge Alley. So I'm feeling a little bit of drizzle, which I'm not too worried about. I'm only worried about the camera, which he has pockets. He can always pocket things if he needs to. And of course my cell phone.
will this shut off or
It'll be
anything?
fine.
Okay.
So it's a masked up area for sure, because we're going to be on East Bay Street. There's more popular places that we're going to be heading to. Once we reach Lodge Alley, we can unmask if you want to. We'll be there for a brief time just to kind of show you what the history is there. And it is we don't get much EMF. The spirit box will kind of leave off if you want to listen to it on the way there. We're listening for names. So I'm not going to tell you what names, but you're listening for names along the way. That's going to go crazy because of the parking meters. Pretty much ignore it until we get to Lodge Alley.
So
It'll probably go dead when we go there. So if we do get something,
am I
it's exciting.
so when the stations switch, if there's a voice, do I focus on something? Do I focus on a different voice than what the station is, or do I just focus on any
I
voice?
just want you to listen to the simplest thing you can hear.
Well, like you said,
So any-
the station itself might even answer it.
So did you see the movie Transformers?
Sort of. I've seen the animated. movie.
Well,
The
some
animated.
spirits are known
You know
for
who Bumblebee
manipulating
is?
frequencies,
That's
and
what
it's
I think what
very
he's talking
possible.
about. Yeah. So remember how Bumblebee talks through the radio? He changes the radio stations to make his language so he can talk. They could do the same thing. So it may be a radio voice that you hear the answer from.
They change the frequencies, and it's quite possible that they changed on purpose.
Yeah.
So, all right. So I think we got. I'm actually really excited about Washington in second. So sorry.
That's okay.
I get stoked about this stuff. So I know I'm not like, oh my god, I'm not there through the halls. But we're
Well, you
actually
can be excited for everybody.
to not disturb our friend over there at the gate. We're actually going to go out the exit and walk around.
Okay.
So, I mean, we're making good time. It's a small group. So.
Yeah, no worries.
This is amazing. I'm like, seriously, I have a bunch of.
Where's your mask?
That's our front gate, man. Control East Bay Street, we're off.
Me and my cousins, they had.
Mask on, buddy.
I love that one. At 23, I think I would have really had a hard time. I know. Yeah. They were like, oh my god, it's amazing. Just like, yeah. Okay, I'm getting ripped. No.
Okay, watch out, baby. You don't have to. I actually
We're gonna like play through. It's a golf course, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Annabelle, are you warm enough, sweetheart?
Huh?
Yeah, I didn't do that quick then.
Yeah, I'm kidding.
Throw that in there, don't you?
2 weeks.
16 months.
2 years?
29.
Actually,
Or 1 week, actually.
maybe we should ask him our name.
At my age, I got a daughter older than her.
Do you really?
I do.
Wow.
You do not look that old.
It's the hat, trust me. It's the small hat.
How about 39?
I'll be 42.
Oh, okay.
So, close.
I'll be 40 in
Yep.
July.
July.
31st.
And my youngest daughter is July 6th, and then my other daughter is Halloween. And that's that.
Oh, jeez.
Am I moving too quick for you guys?
No, you're good.
Trying to keep up with him.
Yeah, good luck.
Look, the tree.
Yep, yep.
Yep.
Come on.
LED lights. Come on, buddy. Yeah, I spend all day trying to keep up with him. It doesn't work very well. That's why I like him to wear his jacket, because now I can just hold him by the hood and he can't go anywhere.
Yeah. oldest, we would pretty much do the same thing. My wife at one point, my ex-wife, she used to kind of keep one of those strings on her, on her belt.
Believe.
I'd take her to a theme park or anything, she'd just bounce all over the wall.
Yeah, he's a chatterbox. He doesn't stop from the time he wakes up to the time he goes to bed, and if he's not moving, he's sleeping.
And I feel it with it daily.
I know.
Not a big fan of too much. Right now.
Oh, and mercy, it's cold.
No, here. How? I was going straight down.
This stuff is not easy to walk on, is it?
Hey, how are you?
It should be turned the other way, then you have at least a little bit of an easier time. Because they didn't think about it when they laid it. Then, well, I guess they're out in the center, aren't they? That'd be easier.
Here, you walk center.
Oh, yeah, that's much better.
Alright, so this is Lodge Alley, so thanks for trekking through it. And the reason why these bricks were laid this way is because these two buildings weren't here. So this was kind of an open land. It was just a road that came through for horse and buggy. But eventually they did lay some houses down, some shotgun houses, very small homes. The reason why I was asking for Joe to listen for names on his spirit box, and he didn't, which is fine because I know which time frame we're in. I have the list of residents of everybody that ever lived here. So the names I get common down here are Benjamin and John. Both of those gentlemen were 2 out of the 5 people that lived here in 1801. So the fact that I have a good percentage of people that lived here tells me it's definitely not a coincidence, especially since it happens more often than once. So the building, the yellow building that you guys see, this is Lodge Alley Inn. Every hotel down here has a claim of a ghost. None of them give me free rooms to verify them, so believe what you will. However, I did have some of the blue-green salespeople on my tour one night, and they did confirm that room 304 has a lot of activity, that I should check it out if I can get that room. So hopefully, summertime or next, winter coming around in January, February for us, I'm going to be knocking on doors again. Now that Stories in a Cemetery has a much bigger name than just a podcast. So I won't get free rooms, but hopefully it'll be discounted at least.
Are there any like sitting spots that you know of around from the lake?
Any what?
Are there any like spots that are around here?
Sit?
No, baby. It's okay.
Yep. We're almost there, man. Bear with me. We're almost there. We're actually not walking much further because really the next stop has like 5 major stories. But then there's like one major location that we're going to be investigating a little further. So with this location, I do get weird green orbs when people are taking pictures. It happens all the time. I had video of it wisping away. I caught shadow figures in here. All kinds of mess has happened in this alley before. So I usually just kind of give you the gist of what this was, while we kind of stand still for a minute, let you guys catch your breath, and then let the spirit box and the thermal
You can turn that up some.
just in here as we walk through. But when we get to the edge, we're going to be in a neighborhood. So I'm no longer a tour guide from there because it's a neighborhood. I'm not allowed to be a tour guide in the neighborhood. So we're just going to be passing by. We're just going to follow my lead till we get to the next spot. Again, we're just passing through, so it's not that big of a deal.
Following me?
People are winding down from their day. They live here. There's going to be apartments up above. So we're going to keep our voices down and just kind of pass through and enjoy the scenery. And hopefully you got something on that thermal that shows colder spots than normal. And hopefully our spirit box caught some things on the way too. I got the word Democrat. I don't know what that means. Because Charles Pinckney was a Republican. Take that for what it is. He started his first political party he joined was the Jeffersonian Republican Party. So I've gotten the word Jefferson there before, which is how I learned this stuff. I don't know. I'm not the Google for all the Pinckneys, and I gotta look this stuff up.
There's a sitting spot.
Oh, so keep in mind too that the peninsula of Charleston was much skinnier in the 1800s. So those buildings that we see down there wouldn't have been there. That's all man-made since then. So the smell of low tide would have been coming through here. They did do an archaeological dig and found some of the silverware and tools and some of their clothing and stuff in here, and learned a lot about the people that used to live here. So again, if we come up with some names or some clues, I actually found some more clues about a gentleman I didn't know about. His name was Alexander Gillen, and he was a trade market, and he owned a house right around the corner from here, but when he came back from France in his trade, he was out of money, so he had to live here in one of the shotgun houses. So again, I learn stuff every day.
What's a shotgun house?
You can shoot a gun through the front and it'll go right out the back. That's how small it is. The doors are lined up perfectly. It's basically 2 rooms in the house. Somewhere to sleep and somewhere to cook. That's it. They had to pee outside.
They have night carriages?
Yeah, sure do.
That's amazing.
This kid's great.
I'm gonna tell you, if we look here, you begging.
This is the dead zone, right?
Just got some. Y'all didn't hear me when I said it, but I got a spike for like a second.
How close were you to the building?
I was like maybe towards the middle. I wasn't that close.
Does the EVP record too?
That's why we rely on somebody to hold it and watch it. How many hours of Minecraft did you get on?
Oh,
I got it.
Oh, the Lego game?
So, Lego.
Oh, just actual Legos.
She's
Okay.
disabled. She has CMT. So, help with hand function, and like she's been building anything Harry Potter she can get her hands on. You can imagine what's going to be under the tree. For
Oh,
her.
yes. Lego.
Lego, Lego.
My brother swore that if I ever gave him skip Legos, that she would bring me on this thing.
Well, she got into it so much that she bought me a set because it was a ghost hunting set. That it comes with an app that you can actually play a game with the Lego set. Like it's an AR thing.
That's kind of cool.
It was cool. I showed my daughter and she was really dad for that thing. Legos. I'm like, yes.
Yeah, I was I know it was 15 years before I got hurt when I was disability, and I used to build the ambulance Legos and
Yep.
like I just display them on my shelves and fire station.
One is an extra one.
Right.
Not happy about tourist hunting. If you want pictures, that's the place to do it, day or night. That's called Philadelphia Alley.
Okay.
I like to come there.
church?
Yeah. I think it's St. Philip's Parish.
We're going to be brief here because church is going to be letting out, and this is a very popular ghost tour stop, so I don't like to take up a whole lot of time because they do that for me. But I talk about the sign here. The sign says that there's no Holy Ghost at St. Philip's besides the Holy Ghost. The reason for that is because in 1888, a woman died 10 days after her stillborn child. 1987, a local photographer in town. He's telling me, I can't make this stuff up. He's taking pictures of cemeteries. He catches a full apparition of a woman with a shawl over her shoulders and a baby basket next to her. Now, we're talking 1987. There's no cell phones the way we have them now, Photoshop, all that stuff. So he sends it to Kodak to get it debunked. They couldn't debunk the picture. So they don't show the picture because women that hold it start to not feel well. I don't play with the superstitious things. I'm a very superstitious person. Females that are pregnant holding the picture will not have to get pregnant. However, her name was Sue Howard Hardy. So if you want to look it up on your computer, it's an amazing catch. Like, it was really a great catch. So we're actually going to go a little bit further back this way, and I want to see if that lot empties out a little bit before we investigate the powder magazine, and I'll tell you what's going on with the rest of these buildings. But I'd like for you guys to at least take notice that there's two sides to the cemetery. So the reason for that is this side is for native Charlestonians only. This is for everybody else. So John Calhoun is buried over there. He's not from okay, he's one of our vice presidents. And they just removed his statue from Marion Square. So if you didn't know that, you can't even go see the statue anymore. He's pretty much a big racist.
That's sad. So are they still burying people here, or is it done?
To my knowledge, I'm going to say no. But again, who knows? This side has been getting renovated for the least past year and a half. So, as much as I've been doing this for. So, but let's head back down the street here a little bit.
Hey, at least it wasn't something bad.
I just don't like to take up that stuff. So, alright, let's go ahead and stop here.
Go.
We're going to cut across the street once I tell you everything else that's going on.
Okay.
So the brick building that we passed up over there in the corner, that's Bocce's restaurant. At least it used to be. Bocce's restaurant is, I know, I hate them. I can't breathe after so many days.
I'm right there with you.
But anyway, so Bocce's in there, the doors wouldn't stay shut. They wouldn't stay locked either. And there's bathroom mirrors that just fall off the walls. By the way, if you haven't invested in one of these, beautiful. Just tuck it in there, keeps it off your face. Yeah, and you can actually hear me a little bit better with it on too, because it's not being muffled from the
Right.
You have another one?
No. Amazon, buddy, my best friend. So, but at any rate, Bocce's, if I were to actually buy a store for Stories in a Cemetery, which is in the plans, that would be it. So I can have the apartments upstairs, so I can rent it out as a haunted hotel. The downstairs would be ghost hunting equipment and books on the paranormal. So that's kind of the end game. So hopefully in the next 4 or 5 years, you guys will come back to town and you'll see Stories in a Cemetery as an actual location. So that'll be the game. Then, like I was telling you, my wife does photography, so she'll take your guys' thrill ride picture ahead of time, and she'll have her own little studio and that kind of thing.
Cool.
So there's a lot of stories that go on here, and I already told you guys that's the other side of the cemetery. But do you guys see the gas lamp right past the cemetery up there?
Yeah.
That's the pirate house. The pirate house is where Blackbeard's men would come off the ship, and they would
No, my hands are hurting.
Oh.
so Blackbeard's men would come off the ships, and they would hang out up there. They'd have a few drinks, have a place to sleep, and they dug a tunnel from the pirate house all the way over to Dock Street Theater. It's a whole block away. We just filled it in the 1990s. That's how long it's been here. Yeah. So, that being said, there's a story that goes with the church and Dock Street Theater, but you need to know what Dock Street Theater was. First off, this used to be Dock Street. That's why it was called Dock Street Theater. It's now Church Street because St. Philip's was the only building that couldn't move out of the way when they widened the road. So as you can see, there's a curve that just goes around the church. So now it's Church Street. But Dock Street Theater was originally Dock Street Theater, then Plankford Hotel, and then it was Dock Street Theater we know now. There was a young lady that worked down here at the church. The Nettie goes to church, and she was past the marrying age of 17. She was 23. Nobody wanted her. So, with that being said, she seen all the prostitution going on down in the hotel, and she went down there to go get a job instead. So, she's the best loved girl in the whole place, but she's still not happy. She used to go to the second story balcony and think about coming back to the church. The priest sees this, goes down to talk to her, and the storm rolls in, and lightning strikes the wrought iron banister that she's leaning on, and it kills her. Now, her gross descendants see from the knees up only. Here's why. They had to learn this. As a guy like me, they had to figure this out. When we turned it back into Industrial Theater, we raised that first floor ceiling. She's walking on the floor that she knows. So that's why you can only see her from the knees up. The other ghost you can see there is Junius Booth, father of John Wilkes Booth, who shot Lincoln in the theater. He was a traveling actor when the original Dr. Theater was here. It was also at the same time period that Edgar Allan Poe's mother was a traveling child actress coming from Charleston. If you don't know anything about Edgar Allan Poe in Charleston, there's a lot there. He was stationed at Sullivan Island in the Navy under Edgar Perry. So he didn't even use his real name. He fell in love, and of course, the story of Annabelle Lee tells that whole story, but her father buried her in Unitarian Church in an unmarked grave, so Edgar Perry couldn't find her. So whenever you're going by Unitarian Church, sorry about all this talk, I'm going to for a second. Unitarian Church is where Annabelle Lee is allegedly buried. So we don't go up that far. There's other tours that do, and we tell that story in detail. I just think we need to think. I gotta talk about both. So let's go check out some powder magazine, and then we're gonna kind of investigate that and see what's going on there. And we're actually making great time. So I think we got a lot of activity out of the Pink and Nelson show. You sound Joseph over here preoccupied about the story. So let's go dive into the powder magazine, and I'll tell you about it.
Somebody's partying.
Yeah.
A lot of us.
Yeah, that's Tommy Condon's over there. That's a pretty popular joint. The little building down here, that's the powder magazine. So the powder magazine is an interesting place. I didn't even like coming up here because it's a pirate story. I don't get into pirates. Nor did I have any proof. I know proof. And when I had to change my route from Philadelphia Alley, I obviously had to come up this way. So Powder Magazine has actually served in 7 different wars. It is at the very corner of the original Charlestown walls. So it's about half a block away. It's the last building before you can put the Charlestown. So he used to carry gunpowder. They had to move gunpowder around through all of their wars. So if they didn't serve it start to finish, they would say, move the gunpowder to Charleston, move it out of Charleston. So it was literally in and out all the time. The building itself is interesting. It's got 32-inch thick walls. Okay, so we're at the very edge, away from the wire of where Charlestown was, before Charleston. So the 32-inch thick walls are in 8 giant pillars around the building and 1 in the center, and they all meet in the middle. It's called a groin vault ceiling. It's very cool to actually take a look at. If you go to the Provost Dungeon, you'll see the same thing. But the roof, the actual roof that you see right now, has got sand in it from 1712. The building was finished in 1713. Now, think about all that construction. 32-inch thick walls, sand in the roof. If that gets hit from the water, all that blast is going to be contained inside this building. It was never attacked. So, all of that extra construction, precautionary, it worked. Nobody wanted to hit it. So, it was never blown up, obviously. This is the oldest government building we have in South Carolina. 1713, that's the date of it. We have older buildings in Charleston, but this is the oldest government building. It's a museum now. It's pretty cool to see. It's a short little quick trip if you've never been there. But there's a pirate attached to this place. However, I don't have a story that attaches her to the location specifically. They just say you can see her ghost here. Now I have the proof and evidence of why. I just don't have all of that it's true. I don't have the why, let's put it that way. So there was a pirate. She was female. Here's how she became a pirate. Her father married her off to a man named James. She didn't want to be married to this guy. So she had an affair with a man named Calico Jack. So Jack is a word we're going to be listening for on this beer. So Calico Jack had a ship. And Anne Bonny wanted to be part of it. Anne Bonny was female. So she had to dress up as a man to be part of the crew. So she's part of the crew now. She finds another woman doing the exact same thing as she's doing. Her name's Mary Reed. So her and Mary become friends. The ship gets taken. Everybody's tried and hung for piracy, except for Mary and Anne. They both claimed that they were pregnant. Now, Anne Bonny was from Ireland. Her father was very prominent dictator over there, whatever he was. I don't remember the exact, I'm sorry if I screwed up that part of the story for you, but he was a pretty big guy.
No, you pretty much have it. My sister owns Anne Bonny's day spa, and so I know a lot of her history. It's kind of cool.
You and I are going to chat because I don't know much. I'm getting to the end. So Anne Bonny lived to be 84 years old to our knowledge because her father bailed her out. She got married, she had kids, the whole nine. But Mary Reed died a year later. So again, I've had the word now, November 28th, 1720 was their trial date. That was when I started bringing people up here, 2020. 300 years to the day. We had the word trial come up several times. We had her name show up. We had the word bottles. Like all things that you would think are on a piratey type theme. I'm like, I hate pirates. It's just not my thing. But so that's where is that exactly?
Anne Bonny's is actually in West Ashley. Well, the day spa is, but the day spa was, of course, the namesake, and then she has a lot of the history hanging on the walls. And
I would love to go visit and just read.
Yeah, for sure.
So
she can tell you.
Captain at some point?
She was.
Thought
And
so.
yeah, she was a captain, and she is actually one of the most notorious female pirates
That I remember.
Right.
in history.
So
And yeah, my sister-in-law can tell you it's Anne Bonny's day spa, and my sister-in-law can tell you so much about her. It's
I would
ridiculous.
love to. I would love
Yeah.
to just sit down and record the conversation so I can, if I'll take her out for coffee or something.
Yeah, I'm sure she'd love that. I'll leave you with my number. Well, you have my
Yeah.
contact info, but I'll get in touch with her and give her your info. And
Please, that would be
yeah, she'll do
amazing
that.
because
She's-
again,
yeah, she's very, very.
I'm not a piratey person.
I'd like to know more.
She wasn't either. She bought into, like, she actually bought the day spa from the lady who named the day spa, and like there, it's so she learned everything when she bought it. And was like, oh, this is like really cool. And
Well, you also, I'm sure you noticed too, like this is probably my most skimmed story because I'm still learning more.
Yeah.
So again, I know she married James, and then she married Calico Jack.
if you're going to do any female pirate story, that would be the one. I mean,
But
it
why
really
here?
is.
That's my question.
Yeah, why here? I have no clue.
So I will tell you that they used to do.
Because they were actually, this is supposedly, there's a lot of speculations that this is supposedly the port where they were taken in and tried.
Yeah, but why?
Why
this
the powder
building? What
magazine?
is that? Yeah, why the powder magazine? Is what he's saying. Like out of everywhere in Charleston that she could be.
And they
why
say
here?
you can see her other places, but mainly here. There used to be a tour
Maybe
just
she
of the
looted
powder
it?
magazine doing what I do.
It's
Years
possible
ago.
she might have tried to loot it. Or it was trying to deal out to her and they got caught there.
I would love
Maybe.
to know
Possible.
more. So we're
It's very hard to find info about her, and there's maybe
yeah, there's not much.
2 or 3 drawings, period, of both her and Mary Reed. There's not.
I mean,
like,
I watched
it's
YouTube
hard.
videos trying to piece this together.
Yeah.
I have the Powder Magazine history book. I've read that, and there's one page on Anne Bonny, and it still doesn't tell you
My
why
sister-in-law's
she's
got a whole book on Anne Bonny. I'll have to hook you up with her.
Yeah.
She's really into
We need to
that,
have a
so-
coffee.
Yeah.
Joe, you know what those squares are
What?
in the building?
What are they?
Oh no. Oh,
He was saying, yeah, he was looking at them, I think. But what are they? I don't know what they are. either.
Earthquake rods.
They're what?
Earthquake rods.
Really?
We call them bolts.
Yep.
Earthquake bolts.
We just hold the building
Oh,
together.
yep.
And
Yep.
earthquake?
Yeah, because there was this huge
Because
earthquake
Charleston is
in-
on a major fault line.
Yeah.
So
I didn't know that.
the Big
I was
John's.
told that on a carriage ride.
Big John's where we started. Again, I skipped the 2 little stories there. That is allegedly where the first death occurred from our big earthquake of 1886. So that was a 7 point something on the Richter scale. So
Jeez.
with that being said, the previous owner used to see darkened shadows on East Bay Street after closing. He would talk to Big John and he'd let John rattle the bottles around, but then he'd go outside and he would see shadows out on because allegedly that's where the first death occurred. A piece of the mantling broke off after the earthquake and struck some guy in the head.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
And yeah. All right, so we're hopefully going to catch something on the spirit box. We're going to spend a good 5-10 minutes here and let the kids see the front of the building. But we want to definitely walk slow along the side of it here. This way we can kind of stay out of other tours' way because they like to show it off and come through. Again, I don't have a lot of fans as far as other tour guides, as you can imagine. Because I stand still. Like I go to a place and wait and see what occurs while they're telling a story and moving on. So I just don't like to linger in their way. But Joseph, go ahead and turn that up just a little bit so you can hear it. Let me see if I'm getting anything on mine. But did I get the story right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, absolutely.
What is your name?
Because again, when I don't know all the details, like with the pinkies, I skim it and I wait for more stuff to teach me as I
She
keep
also
going.
she also killed her husband.
She
didn't
did.
she?
Which one? Because I know
I think
No,
it
the
was.
second one she had the kids.
Calico Jack said that he was going.
She got pregnant with the second one
There's
and
any
killed the
type of
first
one
because she didn't like it.
Can you please
But I
make
thought
your
she
name
was trying to pay the second one to kill him, and he wouldn't do it or something.
Exactly. So she should
She
get
did.
our hands.
Yeah, it was. I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah, you're right. She had the kid with the first one. Or no, the kid with the second one and killed the first one,
And then he got remarried
and
after
then got
that.
remarried after that. I think she was married a total of 3 times.
Yeah, because Calico Jack would have been taken and tried to hung with his crew.
Right.
So
Not pretty.
No, she was a very manly woman. Well, at least according to the pictures you can find of her.
yeah. And again, some of the videos portray her as this flowing red-haired, like beauty, and like.
Huh? Okay.
Not as a rough and tough pirate of female background. I'm sorry, not.
So far.
But that's awesome that you have a connection.
fill the roof with sand?
So those are just shingles. Those are like clay shingles.
Right.
So we actually had to do some repairs up in there because hurricanes.
Right.
And they found that the sand was still there from 1720.
So is it just like they built the platform and put the sand in on top of that, and put the shingles on the top of that? Okay.
That sand.
What is it?
It says evidence.
We were talking earlier about the proof of this place.
I'm not getting none out of this. So mine was something else.
Well, you might not always get everything.
I've only had a few flips on it.
Really?
Not much. When I do get something, just like watch out. It's exciting.
Yeah.
What questions do I want to ask?
I've only
Here's
been
one.
listening. You have a question. Go.
I mean, I'd ask her why she's here, but I'm not sure if she'll respond to that.
With simplicity, just tell us your names. Female pirates, we know the story. Anne and Mary, if one of you could just tell us your names, that would be fantastic.
What are your names?
They already heard me. You could have just waited. They're just chilling with us. Trying to find the energy to actually communicate. Amanda, am I making a believer out of you?
Getting
I don't
very
know.
aggressive.
I mean, even before I came, like I said, I mean, I have no doubt in my mind that there is things that go on that we can't explain. I just think that we don't have. It's just like I was saying earlier. It's like finding electricity or learning about atoms or that the world was round. That we just haven't come up with the education and the smart to figure it out.
So the simplistic tools that I bring to the tour, like I'm building my own investigation kit early. It's way more scientific than this. Like I got test the foils coming in all kinds of ways. So the fact that I'm looking for a full conversation, not 1 to 2 words or phrases. Like I want a full conversation. Like that's what I'm after. Like, and again, these people's stories, that's what influences my fiction. So that's the whole reason why I got into this. And I didn't even have tools. I had a psychic. It was like, dude, we're gonna go to somewhere haunted. I'm not gonna tell you where, so you can't look it up. You gotta tell me what you get when we get there. I was
Whoa,
gonna
whoa.
write Did you get some?
This just flashed like very faintly.
Okay.
And that's when I was gonna.
I'll take it. Yeah, this was one. There's so much that goes on here.
Whoa, whoa. I'm getting something.
Yeah, but it's nothing related at all.
Guys, I think she's down here. No, like that to the middle.
That's
Just
in the
now.
middle.
Check out the front. And then get the wrap. Get you guys out of this rain. Sounds good.
I'm excited to see. Like I know this is.
What
The tour
was
has
your
been great.
favorite drink?
I'm just super excited to see what you come up with when you listen back.
Most people are.
I mean, it's, you know,
I get
it is hard to catch things, especially when you, it's like anything else.
The one button that I
Are
hit.
there were there like any
Whoa.
any alcohol that's like known for its
Blue tint?
yeah.
Not that I know of.
Because I asked them what their favorite drink was, and it said Little Blue Bottle, and I have no clue what that could mean.
I know what that means.
Oh, there you go.
So blue bottles in Charleston are to ward off spirits.
Oh.
So if you see a blue bottle tree, which is common here, that means that they're afraid of spirits coming into their house. So they'll put blue bottles on the branches of the trees.
Huh.
It's supposed to trap them.
When I asked her what her favorite drink was, that might not be working.
This is, like I said, it's not a very big museum, and the gallows is just for show. There's no hangings, killings, or jailings here. But the cannons, they're the real deal, and the uniforms inside are the real deal. It shows all the different wars that served there. But that's actually really cool. I'm going to be looking for that with bottles. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I
And then
definitely
I'll find an
heard
article.
blue bottles.
Well, definitely. So when I see like things that are linkable, like with the list and what I find on there, I always give you verifiable evidence of where I got the data from. So it's not just, hey, I said that because of the ghost and that was my own story. Here's where I got that story from. Here's the link. So you guys get links too.
Maybe you're in between all the parking meters. They're going to set
Yep.
that thing
Yeah.
all crazy.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah.
Even in between them like this. It's no set.
Oh no.
Alright guys, let's call this a wrap.
Yeah.
And oh, you guys park right in front. By
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, we're right in front of the building. I don't even know where we're at, honestly.
We are on Cumberland. We're literally 2 blocks away from
Blocks, like
A block? A block is from road to road. Yeah. Basically.
Let's get that spirit box out of the rain. Drew will take that camera. Get it out of the rain. Awesome. So what, 3 videos I gotta do?
Yep.